Okay, we are live.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to TVBAKWETU. Jerome, good evening.
Good evening, Linda. It has been very, very long since we featured or I featured on TVBAKWETU. But Linda, we need to go our traditional way. We need to put our calendar, then we can come back.
That is that is very true because you were so excited, so eager to go live. I was just like, oh, we're live. This is show business. Jerome has gone live. Not to worry. I think viewers, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go in the background so that you can listen to a little bit of our usual calendula because we don't want to deprive you of our usual calendula bits. Okay. So what would you like, Jerome?
You see, for me, I want to get the PF together with the surrogates.
Yeah.
What is this? It's somebody I'm for. We need to do that. Yeah. Please, if you have, I love that one. It's somebody I'm.
I mean, we have everything. We're very prepared. Isamboliamfa is a glorious banda, isn't it?
Glorious band. Yes.
You see? I'm getting really good at this. Glorious banda. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to treat you to a little bit of glorious banda.
Hey, don't start your video.
Hold on. Here we go. Glorious banda it is.
I'm singing in that.
I can tell.
Oh my goodness. I love this song.
Isambweliamfa. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are getting us from. Welcome to TVBAKWETU, a very unusual presentation of TVBAKWETU, but so much has been going on in our beloved country that we just literally had to come live and have a little chat. Jerome, good evening, nice to see you. I haven't seen you like in a long time. We haven't done this in a very long time. Chinto bento.
Yeah, Linda, good evening. I like the song which we are playing in the background. Somebody actually, we need to say somebody kuri ba PF. Number one, push off of IKH, very power and all that. Yeah, it has been long years. Yeah, Doc Barbara, how are you?
I'm fine, Jerome. How are you? How are you, Linda? I love the Ntove because it gives you like a whole vision of everything that's going on, and you have to like pick on everything.
Absolutely. And we peek on something and everything is exactly what we're going to do tonight. If you have just joined us, thank you so much and you're very welcome. Please share the link, share the broadcast to as many people as possible. We have got 1,000 people watching at the moment from various social media handles. Just to remind you, we're winning ourselves off the Dr. Elias Muncha page. So you've got LinkedIn, you've got TVBAKWETU, you've got Jerome tonight. We're going live on Jerome Kanika's page, which is exciting. Yeah. So all Jerome Kanika's fans and followers and nemesis, if you like, watch on his page. So this is terribly exciting. We are a collection of voices and we come from various parts of not just the country, Dr. Babs, various parts of the world. We've got one in Zambia. You're in Manchester. Where are you, Dr. Babs?
In Manchester. In Manchester.
You see that accent? I should know. You are in Manchester?
The version of Wapula here in the UK. We have to sing along with everything.
Absolutely. So thank you, viewers. I can see lots of people tagging. Let's just say hello to our viewers, Dr. Babs and Jerome, before we get started. Let's have a look. Let's see who's in the house. Chichi, lovely. First of all, Chichi, where have you been? Chichi from YouTube has always been a regular follower. Suddenly, I think Chichi is in England. Can you tell us where you are? Because diaspora. So Chintobe, feel free to dive into your local language. This is a time to show off your local languages. And we have got, guys, say hello to some of our viewers. You can say hello, Dr. Babs. If you see a name popping up, say hello, please. Dr. Babs, can you see the person on there? Your glasses. Oh, Jerome, can you see the person on there? But Imanga Munalula.
Yeah, Imanga Munalula. How are you?
Yes. Nice to see you. Who else?
It's nice to see you. Okay. This is Davis Mkonda, also watching from Nakonda. Oh, this is good. Nakonda is in the house, in the Bubu. Nakonda is in the Bubu.
Nakonda is in the Bubu. Who else is in the Bubu? At Mig Show, area dictionary yabufiva Mig Show stats. Dictionary yabufiva. Tell us your real name, please. Gracious Malingula, nice to see you. Ephraim. Now, Yamboku is a fast because people can see that. Oh, what is Chintobe? Jerome or Dr. Babs?
In Lozi. It's in Lozi. I don't speak Lozi. Maybe we wait for Wom Kelebai to come. Ask him, keep that question.
Where are you? Oh, Wom Kelebai is here. Oh, apologies. Wom Kelebai is in the Bubu. Wom Kelebai, welcome to Chintobe. And please explain, what is Chintobe in Lozi? Our Lozi encyclopedia is here.
Good evening. Good evening, Bakwetu. It's good to see you and Litumezi Chintove in Lozi. Singani saikambwa.
What?
What?
Can you
Speak
say
slowly, please.
Can you say Singanyi Nganyi Saikambwa?
That's deep,
Chingani
man.
ngani saikwambwa.
Ngani
Okay,
ngani
Dr. Bob, you
saikambwa.
try.
It's a kwamuleni.
Dr. Bob, try that.
I don't want to insult people. Let me stay there because that's not close.
I know my brothers and sisters, they're gonna kill me for that one. I know it means it's almost the same. It literally means bring it all. We are going to talk about it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Chichi's in the house. I'm so glad to see Chichi because I haven't
Yeah.
seen Chichi in a long time. I love this panel. Well done. Well done to the entire team. It's not just me. Actually, Wakanika is behind this, making this thing happen. So it's well done to Wakanika and everybody else. Dr. Babs has been in the background calling for this Chintoventove to happen. So I had nothing to do with it, but thank you very much.
Yeah, it's always interesting to have the Chintoventove. It's because you can talk about everything that's happening, like pull ourselves to, to get abreast of what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's nice to have a Chintoventove so that we speak about issues. I can see people have started raising issues in the comments. Yeah, free education and the other kinds. Yeah.
Yeah, and even, like the Z netizens, we have to be abreast with them because they go so fast. I'm a netizens, Vapa Z. If you blink, you will lose out on the news.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's the thing. I think we need the insert actually every minute something new is happening. So
Exactly.
you just have to now go Patrick, you are getting old and the ZTNet citizens are up. I'm telling you. So are you going to manage?
Just the minute you think, oh, let me read about this so I catch up, by the time you're catching up, they've moved on. There's something else that has come on.
And
Yeah.
what surprises me is how soon we forget about the previous hitting issue. And it's just like that. It just happens, and people will talk about it, and then afterwards, it's like it never happened. Nobody even wants to look at it and say, it's okay, let's move on to the next. The next thing you hear, let's forgive them, for they did not know what they did. That's
Yeah,
what That's what until Shikabwe.
No, you see, the problem the problem is we have too many scandals. And it's like each day it's a new day with a lot of its own scandals. So tomorrow we don't know other scandals that may be there, but we have also scandals for tomorrow. The other day we have new and new scandals on a daily basis. You see, it's too much. Anyway, we'll not get tired. We'll start reminding them. But by this time they're getting upset to say, no, why are you reminding us? But look, if you didn't do what you are doing, we would have not been where we are. But because you did whatever bad things, no wonder we are here. So why do you want us not to talk about you? If from 2011 to 2021, these guys, they didn't destroy the economy, World Bank would have not reclassified us to a poor country. But it was a continuous period of
It's even if it's bad, it feels terrible to be reclassified as on a lower pedestal of the classifications of poverty. But it's also a moment of reflection of where we're coming from, where we want to go as a country, and how we rearrange ourselves to get there. Because to be honest, as Zambians, we are too we forget so easily, like Bom Kereba has said. The things we forget are the things that bring us to where we are. Even now, we forget the things where we are coming from. We might just go another stone lower if we don't pull our socks together.
Mm.
Mm.
We
It's too much.
want it
It's too
all,
much.
but we don't
It's
want to work the side of things that will make it better.
not Chiramo. Yeah. You see, the thing is, every simple step the government or the investigative wings decide to take, they want to calm and bombard the government's decision or the investigative wings decision to why this is undemocratic. They want to claim that now that they're the pure, they are the good ones, they are on the other side. Now they know democracy. When we were crying for democracy, they never even listened to us. Lelo, just a simple call out. Yes, simple call out. It's a request. When you are summoned by the police or by the Anti-Corruption Commission, you don't need to start engaging. Let's bring AMA lawyers. Let's bring what? What are you scared of? They are just requesting you to come. And do you know that you can even refuse to go to court to the police? Do you know that? You can simply say, sorry, I'm busy. I don't have time. Because those call outs, they are not summons. They're not court orders. You can refuse, but look at the way they dramatize. Just a simple call out from the deck. Iseni kuno twise tumipushe pali ka plot kenwaka tumipushe amashi umwale gonfia padeya so na so. No way. They have invaded my privacy. I have now, my rights have been imwe. Please. Mulete kanya. Mutungwa take your nya. Oh.
Okay. Hi, sorry, I was momentarily interrupted. Limbinba PF, sabotage. Zesko yaku England. Apologies to the viewers. I kept getting in the last program, kept getting messages. Linda, internet, you're quite the more of England. It's true, I agree. Like proper kumush, ask Dr. Barbara. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a miracle we even have internet.
Resignation yababa.
I'm a countryside. If you kupanga nonsense,
Resignation yababa boring. That's why I'm very experienced.
So, talking of deck, actually, I want to ask you guys. Shall we start with Dr. Babs? Do you think they're on the right trajectory? The method that they're using right now, do you think that's a right method? Because it seems like so many cases are coming up, and then suddenly they've evaded somebody's house, and they've confiscated something or the other, but then it doesn't go anywhere. Do you think the process they're using is the right process?
Thank you, Linda, for that. From where I'm standing, I don't know, because I'm so much into crime documentaries and everything to do with crime. I may be biased, but I think they need some investigations done and have a team of maybe investigation journalists as well, investigatory journalists as well, so that they investigate the whole process until they get to some sort of a conclusion before they bring it out to the media or to the people, or do it privately. I don't know if it's possible, because obviously there's a possibility that they always have moles that are leaking information to everybody else from the looks of it. Because it would be nice if they investigated something, got so much information. For example, you want to study person B, how they got their money. You follow them up. You know, the way they do fraud in the UK for the council, people that claim money illegally, they'll literally fill them up. The guy says he's invalid and he's on the wheelchair. They'll study him for almost 6 months. he'll go playing tennis whilst he's claiming money and pretending to be on the wheelchair. They will film him so that by the time they're giving that information about him, they've got legs to stand on. At the moment, it feels as if they're doing it the other way around, or it's a knee-jerk reaction because there's a period of time when it felt like they were not investigating fraud and people are angry because this is where we've come at, and then now they want to do it to make people think things are happening. So if somebody gives them some information, they quickly go to that person, investigate them. The reason it sounds wrong is because that person will be informed about what's going on. If they didn't know they were being investigated, you get more information about them. You know where the money, even if it's wrongly money proceeding from crime, if you don't know people are following you, it's easier for people to know where that crime trail is than first you come and tell somebody that we want to find out whether the houses you bought. Within 2 hours, people with money can sort out and rinse money so easily. You can literally, I'm not saying that people are doing this to rinse money, but in the world of rinsing money, like even if you read the books by Mario Puzo, the Godfather writer, he says in his books that there's a lot of great wealth comes from great crime, and it's just cleansed in nice ways. You start a charity, you start a function, you start gambling, you start a whole way you send that money so that it's given as gifts to rinse it. But then if you again warn people that this is what they're doing, it doesn't help because then there's the Z netizens are thinking, hang on a minute, is UPND now persecuting every person with money in their pocket? Does it mean you want us to be all poor? When are we going to have our own Elon Musk? When are we going to have our own Dangote? Does it mean everybody has to be investigated for crime? Because now it's looking like they're being persecuted. I think it's a two-way system. They have to be very careful at the moment.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Those are valid points, Dr. Babs. A lot of people are agreeing with you. Barbara, my thoughts as well. I agree with Dr. Babs about Saxon Malambo. But yeah, that's true. That who else? Barbara, my thoughts as well. David Nyambe, a lot of other people are thinking along the same lines as you are. So, do you have different views to Dr. Babs? Do you think,
I agree with what Dr. Barbara to an extent. But what you have to understand is that we are dealing with very sophisticated people that are in denial, people that have been defeated and that they lost power without them actually knowing because they thought they were going to win. And they are using propaganda to make sure that they fight back. And you may be surprised that what you see, what you hear, why aren't you surprised, for example, that the moment Anti-Corruption Commission, let's just move forward. Before we even hear it officially from their offices, the information is out on the media already. Before they're even approached, the information is already maybe they just ask a question. Whatever. Can you please find out about this property? We are trying to investigate on this issue. Case the case is now before the social media. It has already been sprayed by everyone to say anti-corruption is doing all these things. And why? Why is it that when you are simply requested to come to answer a simple question, or they're just asking you a question, just because the question is coming from SCC or DEC, you run and go start paying legal fees already, as though you are a thief. There already, it's a sign to show that the guilty ones are always afraid. And they want to play a loudest so that when they go and alarm the nation, so that they are unprofessional and they are doing something so terrible. You cannot tell me that our brothers and sisters in uniform that are investigating these matters, they are so dull that they don't know. They don't see what we see. They don't know the do's and don'ts. Apo pena apo ndemikanina. So inendemona kwati this is just propaganda. For example, let's talk about this rich man of ours who has been either questioned or asked. Is the government not entitled to ask anybody how did you acquire this information, blah blah blah? And if they do,
without mentioning names, you're talking about this wealthy philanthropist.
Yes.
Yeah. And this person is from diaspora. Now, I'm going to take you back. We're just coming off the back of the diaspora conference where this president has really endorsed the fact that diaspora should come back home and invest in property, invest in mining, invest in agriculture and various other things, and also give back. So there's a group of people who subscribe to the view that this person from diaspora has come back to empower his community. Now, what is wrong in doing that? Should Zambian people, especially those in diaspora, be afraid to come back home and be generous?
They are not supposed to be afraid, Linda. They are supposed to come and invest. But what you have to understand is that we are dealing with people that we have an opposition today that is trying to dent the current government to show the world that they are not doing anything tangible.
So is it the opposition that has invaded?
Definitely, these are the works. These are the works of the propagandists. They want to make sure that imwena ine which they believe that UPND na aba filwa. So there's no way the government. It's not wrong for the government to question how you managed to do this. Did you do this? If you know, let me not preempt everything. Moneni, it was just last few 9 months that this government has been in power. And within these 9 months, there was a situation where investigative wings have started or commenced to investigate on the financial misappropriation and other things. And guess what happened? There was panic in that other camp. People have been running up and down trying to hide in Dalamo Shovaiva. They've been sending money to friends abroad, hiding money, borrowing money. Shimindalama to research to intercept with that from a sacrificial lamb. You know what I'm talking about. We got her. We got a little bit of the money, but it was just a tip of an iceberg. Where did the money go? The rest of the money? Do you think these guys have been our way? But Madam Chirwa, she's on the right track. She's working on her intuition and she's right. Probably. But we don't know. That's why we call them investigation. If the man is innocent, I don't want to call his name. If they are innocent, let them come clean. There's nothing to worry. It's
Thank you so much.
We are not persecuting them. They should just come clean and say, hey, I own this money, I own this property, and this is how I do it.
Thank
so
you.
So once you start crying foul, Tabala, they are not even charged. It's just a question.
Dr. Barbara, Bom Kelevai has said that the DEC is doing the right thing and they're on the right trajectory. They're just making inquiries. And the lady in charge of DEC, he's going by hunch. Should legal proceedings, these investigative processes proceeded by a hinge? Do you need a little bit more than the hinge?
Personally, Linda, I do understand the sentiment where Wumkeleba is coming from. My fear as a UPND supporter and my worry that we need to work on is that there's a possibility, like historically speaking, when you win the government with a majority, you come in loved by everybody. We have exhibits, Boris exhibit, Tony Blair, all these people that came in with majority. They were voted, they were loved by everybody. But then they became a little bit too comfortable in assuming we are loved. So we should avoid that. We should avoid being assuming that we are loved and we can just sit on our perils. We have to do the right thing at every given time. The right thing would be ask yourselves, because there's two sides to the truth. There's the real truth of whether somebody has done something wrong, or there's the truth that you cannot confirm, that you assume. For example, like giving the example Bom Kelebaya has given. He was in Zambia on holiday recently, assuming somebody stopped him and told him just like that, oh, Bom Kelebaya went to investigate that the money you came with from Sweden, from Norway, is legit. I think he wouldn't have felt happy, even if it was just giving away $10 or $5. I think it would have a little bit of a bad taste if somebody just tells you, oh, we just want to find out. Don't worry. Absolutely fine. You have not committed a crime. We just want to find out if you could have committed a crime. Hang on a minute.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerome. Before we add in our new guest.
That's where the problem is. You have to find so much information. You have to find out that Bom Kelebaya in Sweden has been doing ABCD. You've already been tipped even before he was coming into Zambia, so that by the time you're approaching him, even he himself would be like, oh my God, do they already know about what I've been doing? So that it stands well when you're investigating, because at the moment, we are literally shooting guns on our own feet, because if we do it wrong, it will look like we are persecuting somebody who was just trying to help. And then you have to remember, there's a very, very thin line between showcasing our prosperity, the people who are rich, who can help in our society, the diaspora community, and the poor people who are complaining about how the economy is biting. The young people that I'm speaking to, they feel as if they've been left behind, and then they're just going on social media, seeing all these lovely, wonderful people, nicely dressed, going to the balls and, in ball gowns and looking as if everything is fantastic. And then they wake up in the morning, they don't have the little income they have to feed their kids, because you have to remember, Zambia is a transaction economy. Us who live in diaspora, don't worry about if I'm ill. I'll be having surgery on Thursday myself. I'm not worried about whether I'll be eating food in the hospital. It will be there. I'm not worried about whether I'll be having painkillers. It will be there. In Zambia, we are a transactional economy. So every morning when you're taking your child to school, you need to talk to person A to person B in order to sort out person Z. So that's why we have to be really careful what we are showcasing and the way we are doing it. It may be right, absolutely, but we have to do it the right way. I submit.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we get to Jerome and then with our new guest, Anthony Lupia, I see Anthony on my social media handles all the time. Nice for you to join us. Linda, why do you only feature UPND people on your program? Be balanced, bring in people from different camps, even those that have different views. I think I'm very disappointed to hear this from you, because you watch almost all the programs. Punch for Punch, we had Emmanuel Mwamba the other day. Then we had, who else did we have, Dr. Babs? And perhaps Bom Kelebaya, you remember.
But we've had all of them, most of them.
We had the opposition. What's his name again? This lawyer.
The other one. Yeah.
Is it Munduvila?
Yes, Munduvile.
Yes, Brian Munduvile.
Come on, Anthony. Yeah. Anthony, come on. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because that is not correct. I just wanted to highlight that. And also, just to make it clear, we have issued invitations to the likes of Boma and Lusambo, to various other opposition leaders. They refuse to come on. What are we supposed to do? Do you expect us to drag them by their feet and bring them on TVBAKWETU? So the thing is, we invite them. And if you are there, Anthony, I see you follow me quite a lot. If you could ask any of the leaders that you would like us to feature on a program like this, by all means, please bring them here. Now,
Oh,
we have,
himself
I
should
wanted
come on.
Jerome to make a comment. Pardon?
Himself, Anton, should come
Oh,
on.
Mooks, you were saying something. Anthony, exactly, Anthony. There is a link. I have shared a link on various social media handles. Please come on. And we've got some comments coming in, lots of comments. Please don't mind him. Okay. We'll move very swiftly on. So, Anthony, if you want to come on, please do, because the link is there. And if you have views that are completely different from people here, please avail yourself. Jerome, what's your view on this matter? The gentleman from diaspora.
I think first of all, we have first a list of things that we need to discuss and tackle. So let's be at least a little bit mindful with our time so that we can tackle everything. Yeah. You see, one thing that we need to understand very well is Anti-Corruption Commission, DEC, are all public offices. And whatever they do in the best interest of the public. So since they are employed by us, the public, we need to know what they are doing for the money we are paying them for. When they send a call out, you most of the time you discover that it's not these institutions that will go first to the media, but the person they have sent a call out are the one who learn to the media. The purpose of learning to the media, it's known to them, but one thing I can say is about them wanting people's sympathy. But look, when they were doing all those things, they were doing in secrecy, and they didn't want any sympathy. So now when they are called to say, come and explain this, they want now sympathy. No, they are coming over my properties. But the thing is simple. Tell us how you got those properties. It's very simple. If you got the properties in a correct way, it's a matter of showing the receipts and also showing how you did everything. What is so difficult with that? What in that if you are called by the police to say, oh, there's this, do you need to run away? No. You just go there to say, oh, there's this, oh, okay. You say, oh, this is what I know, and it ain't there. So what I know or what people are trying to say is they want to use political propaganda using my colleagues or my friends from the other camp. Yeah, you know the issues of the former ambassador. There is a former ambassador who's liking moving with propaganda all the time using his page and Facebook. So we need to be very much careful. But so far, DEC is moving in the right direction. And people want to scandalize the director for DEC, but she's very tough and she knows what she's doing. And corruption has also started moving in the right direction. I saw the board chairperson for anti-corruption saying, look, if you have the wealth, you are rich. Don't get scared to explain to ask the people how you got those riches so that you encourage or motivate one or two people. Why should you be start running away to say, no, they are persecuting me? No one is persecuting you. It's just a matter of showing that, yes, these things, you deserve them and they belong to you. But if we are not questioning how these people had their money or how someone moved from rags to riches, I think we are setting a very bad precedence as a country. Let the spirit of hard work, where we can account for everything, be within us and encourage the young people to have that spirit of hard work as compared to encourage them to be cadres like the way we saw most young people wanting to be cadres when there was a previous administration in office.
Thank you very much. If you have joined us, kindly mute yourself. I'm sure your music is really lovely, but we're live on TVBAKWETU and we don't want to be listening to any other music. We want to be listening to your views on these matters. Thank you so much. And if you're watching this and enjoying this, please don't be ashamed. Don't be shy to click that like button, share, tag a friend. I can see 484 new people have come on. Thank you so much for joining us. It's very kind of you. I've left this link on because I have James Jarrett, who is still saying you have only brought 3 of the opposition. Now, James, I am giving you a personal challenge. Get us as many opposition leaders as you possibly can, and I will literally personally make sure that they appear on different platforms or different programs of TVBAKWETU. They refuse, there's nothing that we can do. We can't drag them here. So if you feel you want certain people to appear, please do so. Okay, so before I bring in Jacqueline, we have a new person who just came on, Richard Walia. No, actually, I'm so sorry, Richard. I think the first one, I'll go by first come, first serve. Siawanta. Did I get your name right? If you can unmute yourself, please. What's your view?
Yeah, my name is Simpiro Siawanta.
Excellent. Welcome to the program. And what's your contribution?
Yeah, this is my first time to be on TVBAKWETU.
I know. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. My contribution is based on, because I'm a climate change specialist, environmentalist. So I wanted to comment on the issues of both. Because, we want to change the mindset of the young people and the outlook of the city. People need to understand that we are moving on the SDG goals, which are guiding the development of countries. So, under the issue of the boat, it falls under the SDG goal number 11, which calls about sustainable cities. So, we want to create a new modern city, a new place that will look so beautiful, that will look so colorful. Look at countries like Nairobi. Look at countries like just Dar es Salaam. When we go to Botswana, the countries are so very clean and neat, and business goes smoothly in where the government provides those good places where they're supposed to do the business. So I'm sure the move for the local government to move away the boat from CBD and along the Great East Road, it's a very good move, because we want to put the environment to look clean, and also, when these other people come, they should be able to see the country so good, so clean, and to avoid any criminality which may be happening and all those things, so that people are moved away, and those that are going to come in the country, they should be able to be protected. So
thank you very much. I will put you in the back.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Sorry. No, you can finish your thoughts. What did you want to say?
So I wanted to. So I wanted to, like, the move is in line with SDG goal number 11, which calls for sustainable cities. So for me, I second the move by the government through the means of local government, so that people can understand why we cannot be trading in a dirty environment. That is unacceptable. So people need to understand where the environment. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. For some bizarre reason, we have an awful lot of people joining, so I will be putting people in the background so that we have space to add more people. Richard Walia, welcome to the program. What's your very quick view so that we can accommodate as many people as possible? You're muted.
Thank you very much, Madam Linda. I can see my comrade Jolem Skanika, we stay together on the copper belt here. I can see Mr. Mkrevai. We have been interacted before on this platform. I just want to comment about the demolitions of these booths on the city, on the capital city of Zambia, Lusaka. It is really a welcome move, by well-meaning Zambians. But the problem we have here in Zambia, we are like, we like putting one another down. Then we want to praise someone when he left or when he dies. The president, he has a vision for this country. And for every well Zambians, we need to support him.
Thank you very much, Chibella. We're going to bring in Jacqueline Shimba, one of TVBAKWETU's family members. But Jacqueline, welcome. Nice to see you. Big sis.
Thank you very much, Linda, and nice to see everyone. It's been a while. A good job you are doing. I think my comment is basically on Zambians that are pushing a political propaganda around everything that the government is trying to do, especially when you look at the reallocation of booths. The Minister of Local Government was very clear today that, look, we are trying to make a plan and make sure that these booths are relocated in designated places that are healthy, not only to the owners of the booths, but to the surrounding as well. Now, any peace-loving and good Zambian would realize that this is not being done in bad faith. Perhaps, people are saying it's because of the AU. But if you listen to another interview that was on radio yesterday, one of the city planners did say this was already planned for. It wasn't even just about the AU. So I think that we need to call out people that, want to behave like everything that government is doing is wrong, and also to educate our people very sincerely. Some of those booths were in places where there are no toilets, no running water, filthy places. People had been falling sick. People were, openly, whatever, in plastic bags. That is not life. We want to develop the nation, but I think that a robust PR campaign and communication campaign will be important from the local authorities, so that even as they relocate to designated areas, people are made aware that it's for their benefit. Personally, it's a welcome move. And if it can be done correctly now, and maybe also find one design for the booths. So the mobile service providers like MTN should come up with one style of a booth, Airtel as well, Zamtel as well, so that even when you place them in designated areas, they're smart, not what we would see. One booth is made from plastic, another from metal, another, it just created all this dirtiness and lack of uniformity in the city. And we're saying Zambia and Lusaka should become a smart city. So I think it's a welcome move. Okay. And those that are politicizing these things should really just think twice. Is this the Zambia they want to live for their children? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have a few questions for you, Jacqueline. In other words, you are saying, yes, the reason why these mobile booths have been demolished is because of the AU. And why now? Isn't this hypocritical that that the government has to sort of clean up last minute? Why this frantic last minute kind of job where people's livelihoods are being put at risk? Perhaps why not maybe compensate them instead of just go with a bulldozer, demolish the lot? And the young people have been crying. I've seen very distressing videos today, and you don't have to subscribe to the policies of the UPND or PF or whatever to be, you just have to be a human being to feel distressed that this has caused a lot of heartache. Some of these young people, they do not have any hope of getting government jobs or getting any kind of livelihood. So their last resort is these mobile booths. So now the government has destroyed that. Do they get compensated at least? And if we're cleaning up, there's nothing wrong. Look, all of us have had a time when you're having special guests. No matter how house proud you are, your house is pretty nice, but you've got special guests coming and you're literally spring cleaning. That's fine. I'm sure every country does that. But why not compensate them?
I think, Linda, there are about three sides to this story. Number one, if you look at cities that have grown out of filth and overcome, what would I say, disorder or disorderliness, and they're okay. They most of them started by having big conferences. Zambia has not been a host to huge regional conferences for some time now. And if we open up the city to these international or regional conferences, it means that the city needs to have order. But then it also tells you that the city will start growing outward. And wherever we'll take it outward, there has to be order. So one, the city planning and the local authority themselves have let down the people. We've all been let down because in the first place, why were people allowed to mount booths where they're not supposed to? Today, again on radio, I'll tell you, there were testimonies of people who tell you, I woke up in the morning and in front of my shop, I found somebody has erected an illegal mobile services booth and money booth. And when I confronted them, they said they paid the council or the council sold the land to them. And there are some that have been taken to court before, the owners of the booths. They've been taken to court to say you're in this property illegally. So are we going to continue to accept illegalities and refuse to be orderly based on the fact that people suffer? And I'll go back to what the Minister of Local Government said. He said, we are working on a plan to ensure that booths are put back in designated areas. He did not say this is the end, people won't have jobs.
But when? So these people, every day they make money, every day they have to eat, but Jacqueline,
absolutely.
The minister is working on a plan. In the meantime, what are these young people meant to be eating?
Yeah, but you know, Linda, people have been engaged before. The owners of the mobile booths have been, the mobile money booths have been engaged before by the council on so many occasions and been asked to prepare themselves to move. There's been resistance. Some have been allocated to certain places and they said no. And I totally understand that, some of them, that's their daily bread. But if we have to create order, we all have to work together. And that's why I said the local authority now has to quickly work on a robust communication strategy and plan so that, like you are saying, but when? So they have to quickly indicate to the people, this is where you're most likely to be moved to by a certain time. And by the time you move there, these are the plans. You need toilets, you need running water, you need security. Most of these booths were lacking security now. Some of them, apart from selling airtime, were selling other things, and the city was becoming dangerous by the day. Then, like I said, the health side of the people was very important and worrying because people are operating in places where there are no toilets. And yes. And then coming to the AU, whether it has coincided or not, I think let this also be a lesson to us as a people that cleaning up our cities and our surroundings should not only occur because there's a big conference coming. I think from this lesson and what has happened, especially the local authority, they should now move forward to ensure that it's a daily practice where there is no order. They go in and, maintain order. And we don't have to worry whether we have a big regional conference coming or not. Thank you, Linda.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sobering thoughts there. Yes, we do need to keep our house in order. Everyone understands that. But perhaps the way it's been done and the way the involved feel, the people who have lost their businesses, and time frame, again, it takes us back to communication. Mobi Saimba, welcome to the program. What's your very quick contribution? We have an awful lot of people in the background waiting. So I'm going to be really strict on time. Please make it very snappy so that we can accommodate as many people as possible. What's your contribution, please?
Oh, Linda, I don't know if you're able to.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think where I am is quite really bad. So I may be lagging, I'm sure.
Can you make your
I
contribution,
don't know
please?
if I suggest just join some in the next few minutes. Where I am right now is quite the network is bad and the phone is almost going off.
Can you make your contribution, please,
Thank you.
Sampa? And we have lost him. We had Joseph. Joseph, welcome to the program. I'm loving the flag in the background.
Oh, thank you. It's happening in Oxford. Yeah, thank you for having me in. I think I've got a list of answers in bullet points to this problem.
Try to make them as quickly as possible.
Nadia, if I can.
The background.
Yeah. Good evening, Linda. Everyone, thank you, and the viewers. I'll be quite snappy. I think this dates back to the day we had the issue of the media. I think when we leave room for speculation, it doesn't matter how good the intention is. Yeah. Citizens have not been involved. There's planning, timing, priority, cost, empowerment, tax compliance, and regional interaction. All these things are bordering on this problem. Now, the AU issue is, to me, is not a reason to clean the city. If we want Lusaka to be clean, it's supposed to be a local government policy of how the contract should be offered to cleaning companies and local people and all that. So the immediate reason to me is not fair on citizens, but I think we need to have a proper framework, which is a municipal council policy that looks at the cleaning aspect of the city, which shouldn't be triggered by any regional events or anything. The city should always be clean for us Zambians. Now, Zambia's economic framework or structure is not like England or America. Okay, we are a developing country, so we need to know that our citizens have got these small businesses which they may seem illegal or against policy or guidelines, but they're kind of a by the way ongoing thing before they get themselves to a better personal economy. So we need to also look at our cultural remodeling setup. Who are we as Zambians? And when we mean to have a clean city, how do we have a city being clean? Because we don't have all the machinery like they have in New York or anywhere. So we can't assume, because we're in a modern world, we should assume Lusaka should be clean like London all the time or another big city. But we should find out a way in which things work within our manual way of doing things because of where we are. Yeah, so
Joseph,
so
you're being told by Isaiah, move on to the next point.
Yeah, so my point is, let the planning and the proactiveness of informing citizens before these decisions become practically effected be put clear to the citizens, so that you don't offend people on their livelihoods and emotionally. Because I've watched a lot of videos today, trust me, the whole day I was watching. There's even women that have confessed to being raped by street kids when they're operating late in those booths because they're situated in wrong places or places without poor lighting and all that. So this all put together, it's where we need to come together now and look at the problem holistically. I think we're treating these problems with a lot of piecemeal, and that's why there's this confusion. So can we bring this?
Joseph.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that confirms the point that Jacqueline was just talking about in regards to safety. Joseph, you've kind of confirmed that. Thank you very much. Very important points. And I apologize in advance. I want to try and get in as many people as possible. Oswald Monsa, your very first time to TVBAKWETU, thank you so much for joining us. Very quickly, make your points in bullet points form. Talk about mobile booths as well as the diaspora in person. Now, I have to say that the views of the people who are coming on TVBAKWETU are not necessarily the views of TVBAKWETU as an entity. So we don't want to be sued, basically. So if you're not sure about your point, you can use the word allegedly, unless you're completely sure about the point you're trying to make. Oswald, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Linda. And maybe I just need to remind you that it's not the first time I'm joining TVBAKWETU. Just had maybe in the few months I've been busy with studies and so forth. Yeah, maybe going back to our issues. I know I wanted to say a lot, but maybe I joined late. and maybe I'll just concentrate to two issues: the issue of the booth in Lusaka, and maybe the issue of Mr. Ndambo.
Yeah, go for
I
it,
think,
please.
yes, maybe starting with the issue of the booth. I think for me, the government is in the right direction. But sometimes when you're doing things, it's always important to do the approach matters. I think for me, I feel maybe government didn't engage much these people. I know there was some consultation. These people approached at first, but again, I expect maybe government to be more considerate as they approach this issue. But definitely Lusaka need to be cleaned. I think Lusaka is one of the dirtiest place we ever visit. So for me, it's a
Next
good
point.
move. Yes, but I think they need to look at the approach they are using. Yes. Then the second issue of Mr. Ndambo. I think being okay, being a UPND member, I think for me, I'm totally against that move. Mr. Ndambo seems to be as controversial to the government, but I think he's somebody that government needed maybe to let him be. I think we are better off. I think we seem to be more trivial or more picking issues. I think as far as I know, Mr. Ndambo has been doing business for some time. For people who know him from a certain distance, not that close, but I think it's not the issue that I feel government or DEC should have picked up and start following him.
I think that's pretty clear. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Patriotic de politique. My guess is more about PF. Linda Banks, I'm impressed with the way you're handling the interview. Very professional and objective. One would think you're not even a praise singer. All I'm going to say on that is violence. That's not ideal. Violence, but too late in the day is not ideal. Dr. Pab. Is Jerome there? Jerome, have you left? Or are you still there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
then
definitely.
we'll have take violence in your pocket caption.
Yeah, definitely. That's serious violence. I'm also shocked. You see, we are doing what we can do, but he wants to bring violence. Please.
Imagine.
Linda, I think the issue of the booth, let me just chip in. The mayor for Lusaka mentioned that they started consulting, or they started the consultation meeting with the booth owners in September last year, and they have been instructed to move to the places where they can do the selling. But it's like people, they keep moving from where they place them to places where they feel themselves to be. This has brought a lot of problem. And she raised another point to say, look, these booths were being put here by the PF cadres who were charging people 5,000 per booth. Now, among the 7,000 booths that are there, 300 are the ones that have just been affected by relocating them to other places. The other booths are still there. So I don't see and understand why people are making all those like it's everyone who has been removed. I think that's not very, very much. Then I come to another issue, Linda, where we have been told to say that the laboratory has been grounded. I think the reporting was not the ideal in terms of saying that laboratories have been grounded in UTH or what. Let me repeat what I said even some time back here on TVBAKWETU. We still have the other laboratories that are running well and good at UTH. The only thing that we had was the issue of the agents. And as we are saying, the tender for supplying of the agents has been closed, and it was closed on Friday. And we had about 30 companies that participated. And from the 30, 19 were local companies, well, 11 were citizen-owned companies. In the tender itself, it is clearly stipulated that only citizen-owned companies, if they fail, that's when they can go to local companies. So in this situation, the 19 companies, there's no need of even starting evaluating them. They have disqualified themselves because they are local companies. But the advert wanted citizen-owned companies. So we were expecting that people are evaluating to evaluate 11 companies, which are citizen-owned companies. And this is the first time, Linda, let me mention this. This is the first time citizen-owned companies are being considered to supply something of such nature since the time I can say Ministry of Health was created, this is the first time we have citizen-owned companies to be given a tender of such nature, which is very good. But
Okay.
some
Now,
people,
Jerome.
yes,
Jerome, why is it that 10 months into this administration, we are still having problems? We've had Mr. Tabo for quite a while, you know, like maybe 3 or 4 times on this program, and he did assure us that medicines are rolling in, everything's fine. This is now 3 months after we had Tabo here, and we're still having this conversation. What is going on? You work quite closely with this ministry. Can you please explain to us why are people having to go through these situations to actually get basic needs, medication that should be there, and that sort of thing? What's your response to that?
Linda, yeah, it's just that my phone is a little bit low. No wonder I've cut the camera party,
Not to
the
worry.
video party. Yeah, but look, let's understand one thing here. We had a situation where there was no respect for the rule of law and the laws that we put ourselves into. It was just the matter of a minister telling someone to say, you have drugs, bring, you have that, bring. But this time we are saying, look, if we continue moving in this situation, we are going to just disadvantage our people. And in this situation, the government is there to empower its citizens. So we are talking about the issue of saying shortages of drugs and all those kind of things. Then that there are a lot of interventions that have been put in place by this government. One, there is an increment in the grants the hospitals are given by the government. Some hospitals that were receiving as low as 90,000 kwacha, this time they are receiving as high as 190. Some are even going to receive about 200. And from that money, people have been told to say you can use the money for grants to buy the medications and other things that may be needed. And
Why
that
still
money you
so
can go
many
to
shortages,
30%.
Jerome? Why, despite all that money, why still so many shortages? We have Conrad saying, allow people to finish. I promise you, Conrad, we have
Linda,
like
let me finish. Let me finish so that you understand. Let me finish so that the people can also understand. There's this grant since the time of the new Dawn government came into office. They have never no hospital have stayed a month without receiving the grant. They have been receiving the grants. Two, there is also another funding coming through the procurement of drugs through NEMA. We have pharmacies and other institutions that are accredited under NEMA, and the NEMA has been procuring drugs. Three, there is also the central pay from the government. Government itself, it does procure the medication by itself. Then four, there is also donor-funded kind of procurement of drugs. So all these things have been happening. So when people talk about, say, no, we don't have drugs, shortages, what and what, they just try to exaggerate in a situation that is not the way things are. I think the other thing that we need to do, maybe we need to share to the people when we talk about essential drugs, what are those essential drugs? Because I think earlier I saw someone who was posting to say, I went to the hospital, they prescribed me Nat B. The hospital didn't have Nat B. But look, what is Nat B? Nat B is a vitamin B complex supplement. You see, you can't find such in the hospital because it's like a luxury kind of a medicine, not a medicine we can say essential medicine that someone who doesn't take this medicine they are going to die. No, you can't die by not taking Nat B. It's a luxury, but you can use it. But if we have other drugs like gentamicin, it's an essential medicine for bacterial infection. Paracetamol is an essential medicine for painkiller. You talk of Pen-V, you talk of Fragile. These medications are essential and you find them are part of the essential drug list. So when you check, procurement has been happening. But again, on the other hand, we ourselves who have been appointed in these positions as civil servants, we need to help the government out. what I've seen most of the people is some of the people, once they are being appointed, they are not using the appointment according, but they are taking advantage and start blackmailing government in such a way that they start doing wrong things by bringing people who are not fit to supply things to want to supply to the government. And this is bringing a lot of confusion where today the tender is floated, tomorrow the tender is cancelled because some people are engineering wrong people to start supplying. These
Ram,
are
name some
the
names. Name some names. Who are those people who have been appointed in senior positions who are frustrating the work of the
I
government?
think let me not mention the names here because some people may not mention are not here with us to defend themselves. But I wish if we can start
Okay,
having those
what ministries? Give us a hint. You can't make such an allegation and not give us a
no
hint.
no
Who are
Linda,
these
it's not
people?
it's not an allegation. It's the truth. I'm not
Who are
making
these
any
people?
allegation.
It's
Yeah,
the
so
truth.
let me
Who are
not
these people?
enter in people's in people who are listening. I will start mentioning the names here. If they were here, I would have said, Linda, it's you who's doing that. But look, you are
Okay.
not there.
Well,
So
I
we
will
know
investigate. Jerome, you are a whistleblower. You enlightened the entire nation about what was transpiring with Honeybee. So we will probe until we find out exactly who these people are. Because I think it's important to find out who is frustrating the work of the government. Dr. Babs, you are a doctor. What's your view on Jerome's talking points?
I may be a little bit biased because I'm currently a patient myself. I'll be having surgery on Thursday. I do not, in any circumstance, accept that whilst patients are ill, they should be informed about the procurement process of any medication or any reagent whatsoever.
They don't want to know. They don't want to know.
Ill, you just want to go into the hospital, sit down, get treated, and come out. I don't want to go into the hospital and then I'm told, you know what, Barbara, we're going to do an eye swab on your eye, but you know what? The guy who was supposed to buy the reagent did not pay the tender and blah, blah, blah. And then the condition that I have is literally a time bomb. If things don't go the right way, I have to have antibiotics on time. I have to make sure there's no infection because I've literally got a hole in the eye that can be infected. Now, even under strict condition, imagine if this was back home and I didn't have money to pay for anything, I would be blinded. I would have an infected eye in no time, and that would be it. So we have to be, the Ministry of Health has to have their hat on, they have to have their shoes on. My fear, the thing that really worries me about the Ministry of Health in Zambia, even when I worked in the Ministry of Health, there's so much picture taking and PR things going on the front of the company, or sorry, the ministry itself, and very little going on at the background. I call it as you know, the way they do things is like drinking tea with a fork. You know, you genuinely put the fork in a cup and expect to drink the tea. It can't happen. You really have to do things, even if it's try different methods to see if it will work. You know, there's no way people should be waiting for a procurement to go through. And people have to be told, no matter what happens, we always have to be honest with our people. They just want to be told the truth. There's nothing as bad as you have patients going into the hospital. They need to have a particular medication. They need to have a particular reagent done, test done, sorry. They come back and say, you know, I went to this hospital, they didn't have this. Then we have this side of our things as UPND, we go back and tell them, you know what, it's just propaganda, it's just this, it starts becoming annoying to the people who are ill. So we have to be very honest, we have to tell the truth and say, at this particular time, this is available. And in medicine, in the hospitals, they should always, without fail, it's like the train system in the underground. You should always have a system working in an emergency. You should always have backup electricity in an emergency, because these are places where things should not stop. life cannot stop. You have patients in an emergency intensive care unit who depend on those blood tests, on those reagents. Those things should not stop. Those things should not depend on procurement. Even if it's a cut producing that procurement, at that time we should say, in this emergency phase, we'll buy from the cut.
Okay.
And then whilst we're sorting it out, at least there's a
Dr. Barbara,
baseline.
okay, just to come in that. Yes, we understand the situation which you are talking about. That's a very ideal situation. But we are coming from a situation where everything were destroyed. There was no system. All the system was destroyed by the previous administration. And right now we are trying to see how can we build the system. And we are starting from the scratches. That's what the problem is. So when you are starting from the scratches, there may be these hiccups that may be coming. But once we kickstart, I can assure you, everything will be flowing accordingly. Yes, today people are talking to us to say, no, look, there are no drugs. Clinics have nothing. But look, we have about 42,000 health center kits that the government has procured. And this health center kit is not like you go on the Salaula and say, we want this, like the ANB thing. No, it's not like that. We need to engage credible company. And the company have said, the earliest we can bring, the health center kits is November. You see?
Yeah.
So we have given the contract. That's the earliest.
That itself does not sit well with me, Jerome. You know why? Medical health does not wait for November. Between now and then, something has to give that will help and support the system. It's like building a house. When you're building a house, you have a little corner where you all sleep, because sometimes you have maybe the whole family sleeping in that little room because the other side is being built. But immediately when you buy a house or you're building your own property, you first create that little corner where you can sit yourselves whilst you're building the main house. Same thing has to happen with the Ministry of Health. They have to build that little corner to maintain what is going on whilst they're working on solving the problems.
So you see, Doc, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is a long term, but we are having something November. Now, what is the government doing between November to now? There are issues which I've mentioned. Look, there is a NEMA issue that has been put in place. NEMA is accrediting a lot of pharmacies across the country for where people can get the drugs from. Two, there's an increase in the amount of grants that people are being given. It's only that if there's a hospital that has the essentials that are needed, then there's a problem with management because government has increased the funding to that institution while we are waiting to put things in place. Three, there's also a bulk procurement from ZAMSA, which has been done. I'm talking about, we are now, I was just talking about the closure of the reagent tender, which was issued by ZAMSA. And not only procurement given to foreign countries, or to foreign companies, but to citizen-owned companies that those that can supply the reagents, and which is very good. As much we are sorting out the health issue, we are also sorting out the issue of about empowering the citizens with the much needed resources for their entrepreneurial activities. So all these things are being put in place. And not only that, there's also a donor issue that is happening on the other side where donors are procuring drugs on our party, are procuring drugs for the government. So all these things are happening. So the issue of saying there is completely nothing, I think it is very unfair to the ministry and to the minister herself, who's working day and night to make sure that something happens, where she found that everything was destroyed by the previous administration. That's what's happening. So it's not like people are sitting, no.
But Jerome, unfortunately, in government, we can't take the position of treating people with fairness, or maybe, oh, we need to be kind a little bit. We have to be a little bit brutal when it comes to health issues. The reason I'm saying this is because a healthy population, a healthy citizenry, is what will lead us to a developing country. What I mean is, if there's little procurement, if there's something, when I spoke about prepare a little house in the corner whilst you're building your massive house, where you can at least have a little shelter so that it's raining, you won't be muddy. Same thing applies to health. At some point, they can write a letter to all the clinics or the hospitals and tell them, at this point in time, this will not be available. Advise people that if they're in severe pain, we can give them pain. If somebody has just broken their leg, we can give them painkiller. If it's not so severe, maybe we can give treatment for the first 2 days or the first day whilst they find medicine for themselves. There should be a tier system. People should be involved in their care. People need to know what's going on. We cannot be, at this point in time, just hearing. People should not be hearing from BAKWETU TV. People should not be hearing about what's happening in the background without being told what's going on. They should be abreast with the knowledge of what's going on. Same thing goes with the booth. People should be part of the management of that demolition. The same people working there, they should appoint them as members of the team of what's going on with the booth, so that they are aware themselves. They become a part of the planning, and it all boils down to the communication systems that we have. If they tell these young people, for example, I digress from the health thing. If you tell the young people that, this is unhealthy, this is ABCD, every 5 booths or every 10 booths, choose one leader who will be talking on behalf of you 10, so that they're aware of what is going on. Every 6 clinics, they have a leader who will be talking on behalf of those clinics, so that they can tell them, this is what's going to happen. This is where our procurement level is. In your clinics, if you have this situation, you can tell them that we can offer you the first 2 days of medication, or the first 3 days, we can afford to do that, but the remaining days, so you can at least treat the initial phase of the condition until that person is stable, which is normally the initial 48 working hours. If they're not stable, then it's a serious illness that they should be admitted for. Those initial times that they're supposed to be stable, give them some medication, tell them, we can do this for you. That's fair to the population than to make people assume that when you go to the hospital, you're going to receive 7 days of medication, and then nobody's telling them the truth. Everybody is on assumption. Everybody is on hearsay. Then that's when all these opposition leaders also come into, to make to build houses from the little mistakes that you're making, because you've left a gap. You've left an opening where there shouldn't be an opening. At this point in time, we cannot be still saying we inherited. Of course, we've inherited a lot of a mess, but at this point in time, we should say, yes, it's a mess. It's bad. Having said that, we have this corner of the house where we are living. This is how it's going to be in this emergency until we sort out. We even give ourselves maybe a time frame. In the first 4 months, it will be like this. In the next 5 months, it will be like this. The following, it will be like this, so that everybody is abreast with what's going on. When citizens in an economic crisis are not aware of what's going on, everything falls apart, because that's when people get angry. That's when people think there are certain people enjoying, and they've been forgotten. After all, they voted. Let them be a part of decision making. Everybody should be a part of the decision making. Just like in our homes, if you are broke and there's no food, you call the children and tell them, you know what, we all have to fasten our belts. For the next 1 year, we are building a property somewhere else. We'll be eating chicken wings until we finish building what we're building. And everybody understand, nobody ever died from eating chicken wings. By the time you build your house, they won't even remember that they ate chicken wings.
Yeah, but Doc, look, let's understand here, maybe in this point. Every day we are admitting people. Every day we are admitting patients, and every day we are discharging people. And these people who are being admitted are being attended to and are being treated. None of them are being sent to say, you have been admitted, go buy this medicine. No. We have medicines for the patients who are critically ill. Only those that may be maybe a little bit maybe stable are the people we are giving some medicine may not be there. And as we know very well, one dimension to say we need to share to the members of the public the list of essential medicine or the drugs they're expecting to find in government institutions as they go to get these medications. Because most of the people, like I gave an example where someone talks about, they posted to say, I went to the hospital, they wrote Nat B for me, but I didn't find it. But we need to know very well that Nat B is a supplement that someone can stay with or without it.
Can I just say something on that, Jerome? I think on that point, knowing Zambia the way that it is, we also have to take the background history of what happened for them being given that medication. A Zambian in a third world country, well, I don't like using the word third world. People in developing countries will not get on a bus, go to a hospital to just go and chill to get some vitamin there. Most of the times, people go to the hospital after they've been ill for some days until things really get bad. That's when they now actually make an effort to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
If they were given that medication, there must be a reason for that medication. Is it a diabetic person who is in severe pain and they need that vitamin B, and maybe the person that saw them just described it? Because in Zambia, we don't like describing things to our patients. We talk to them like they don't understand. Instead of just being honest with them and telling them, you need B complex, you need this, that's the reason you're having this pain, and it will help your pain. To that patient, that's not a minor issue. To them, they're in a lot of pain. They have neuropathy, maybe from diabetes, and that's the thing that they need, but it was not explained to them properly. So when they write on a social media post, oh, I needed this, to all of us who are looking from the outside, to be, oh my God, why did you go to just get a vitamin? A person in Zambia will not travel to a hospital to just get a vitamin. They can get it from the corner shop. They can get it everywhere. If they actually sat in a consultation, there is a background history to the reason they had that vitamin.
There is a background history to that, Dr. Babs. Thank you so much. There has been quite a number of important points that you have made, Dr. Babs and Jerome, and thank you so much. Someone was saying, please don't let them finish, but it's nearly what? It's nearly midnight. Some of us have to be up in like 4 hours. So we can't let everyone completely exhaust. You know, Zambians, we have talk time. We all want to talk till the cows come home. Now, there's something that really made me laugh. You've got a wicked, wicked sense of humor. You're about, first of all, what before we move on to the next topic. You were there giggling away, and I'm trying to stay sensible.
You know, I was just laughing because I'm able to see myself in those two when they were busy going on and on without considering their colleagues that they are waiting also want to contribute.
They had very important points to make.
Very important. Very important. And
but
I just wish we could have a different program for that particular subject. It's very important, and we respect their views, and we just have to uphold. And thank you so much for that, because it's not easy for us to have such kind of advice coming from a professional like Jerome and Dr.
Indeed, so thank you so much. And this is why we have them on this platform, so that they can give us that professional view. And it was lovely to see the pharmacists, the resident pharmacists, and our resident doctor head to head. And Zambians, I'm serious. You were talking, listening to the program, you were talking about tea. The whole discussion, they're discussing tea, Dr. Barbara's analogy about tea. Drinking with a fork, instead of they're laughing about
tea, from medicine to tea. was interesting.
I
Anyway,
think Dr. Barbara made this analogy about drinking. It's like drinking tea with a fork. Make your quick submission so that I can add in Chembe. We've been
yes.
joined by
No,
a person called Chembe. I've never seen. I don't know
Wolinda,
if you are.
I'm gonna, me, I'll just bring out other issues. I am not a medical practitioner, and that's okay.
That's yeah.
Wolinda, Barbara has already said things, and and what I can only tell them on that aspect is that please, Jeremy, tell the people that you're interacting with to disseminate whatever information you have, not until we put you in the lime spot. That's when you start explaining about the do's and the things that you are doing behind closed doors. We want information to flow. Otherwise, that's okay. But what I want to talk about myself, Bolinda, I'm sorry to say this because I just want to jump because I feel like it's enough. Madam Chirwa and the group and the team, I just want to encourage them to say, do not listen to these people who are busy crying every time you request for them to come to your offices. Then they start crying and going all the way public and even on BBC announcing that they are being persecuted. Then we know what they are doing. Please continue with what you're doing. You have our blessing. You have the blessing of the head of state. And that's why you are in that position. And my also other message goes to these guys who are busy, like this gentleman who was called in today and apprehended by the police, or rather remanded or questioned. Just stay in your lane. You have no clue what is going on. We know the government is going through a lot. And the reason why the government is going through a lot today, they can't just come out and tell you the damages that this previous government did. And they are trying to cover up so that they're trying to protect you and me. But we want the government to come out and speak. And that's why I believe is in that thread that the SCC and the DEC, together with the Zambia police and the prosecution, they sought to give information on whatever transaction that takes place to the people of Zambia, because they are holding those offices. Those are public offices, and we, the Zambian people, are entitled to information. Yes, you may talk about investigations. Yes, they are going to investigate, and that's what they're doing. But when they approach somebody and they inform the nation that we have approached somebody, that does not constitute persecution. It means they are giving you information to say they are now targeting, or rather asking questions that are relevant. Moreover, those people being asked or questioned, they hold public offices, not secrecy. Anything that they acquire, anything that they end, needs to be questioned either publicly. Be careful with that gentleman. Be careful with that gentleman who is busy gallivanting with now PF supporters or sympathizers, escorting him to the police. Be careful, because that's the gentleman who actually made possible, or who actually caused chaos during the previous regime, where 2 souls were lost. So be careful of what he talks about, and be careful on what he tells you, and be careful on what you ingest from him. He is a danger to the public, and if you don't tame him, he will destroy, and he may put this country into an ungoverned situation, because he may be small, he may be nothing, but he has followers. And you could see the people that followed him during just a simple question, call out. There you can tell what is behind that young chap. Be careful with him. He has no good thoughts for the Zambian people. He is there to sell his selfish needs, and he wants to feed his family, because that's how he thrives, through handouts.
How do you feel he caused the death of two souls? What was his involvement?
Remember the how the
And this is the benefit of people are just joining us.
I will answer you, Volinda. I will answer you, Volinda.
Yeah.
I will answer you. Remember how the case of the call out started, where Hakainde Chilema, our president, was summoned.
Yeah.
How it came about, the genesis of the case, who started all those rumors or rumor mongering. People, there are certain people that believe in everything that comes out of that young man's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, they take his words literally, the way he says things, even when they're just baloney, full of lies, but they did it. They followed it. Some of the government officials at the time, they followed. And guess what happened? From that simple mistake, 2 lives were lost. Joseph Kaunda and who else? Nsama.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful with what some of these chaps talk about. And I'm not surprised when the government comes in and say, or the police comes in and ask questions to say, hey, you are a danger. Can you tame your tongue? Come and answer certain questions because you are inciting violence or against the government. So I want to call upon the government to please deal with that boy. He's nothing but a little piece of cloth. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we ended it there. Clever, you worry me. But Jacqueline, thank you so much. But Jacqueline, are you there?
Yes, I am, Linda.
I want you to because I know you're making your comments from an informed position and from government's position. I know you're not the chief government spokesperson, but you are making your contributions from an informed position. I want you to touch a little bit, very briefly, on the topic that Dr. Babs and Jerome were going back and forth, ping-ponging against each other. The situation at the Ministry of Health, and it's frustrating for me because we keep coming back to this, as well as the arrests that are coming that are becoming prolific in the country, without obviously mentioning names for obvious reasons.
Okay, thank you, Linda. One thing I know for a fact is that there's a lot of work going on. Let's go back and just recall when the Minister of Health actually burst out in Parliament one day. I think we all remember some months ago, and said there were people that were frustrating her efforts because I think she was trying to change the procurement processes and everything. And at every turn was a bottleneck. And I think it took the involvement of the president for things to move. That one is an indication of, what a mess this country was in. And in cleaning up, obviously, Jerome knows best, there were some drugs that were brought in. However, if you read yesterday's newspaper, Times or Daily, there are even health officials that were arrested in some parts of Zambia for actually, medicine pilferage. They were pilfering medicines and taking them out of the clinics and hospitals and putting them in these, backyard pharmacies of theirs and all that. So you see that it became sort of a game. Medicines come as a group of disgruntled medical personnel in these clinics and hospitals. They plan them. It was like a hawker tale, for lack of a better term, and then they pick up the medicines, away the medicines go. Today you have a whole truckload of loading medicine at a health center. 2 days later, you can't even get Panadol. So that level, it's unfortunate, and I'll be very categorical here, very, very unfortunate that our people have to go to health centers and most times not find medicines, or even just poor service. Medicines are there, someone is not attending to them. We've had people posting on social media. I'm surprised today I was at Levy, someone will say that I managed to get this medicine. I've never gotten this medicine from Levy Hospital. Every time I get a prescription, a slight improvement. Some health centers are recording improvements. Others still have those problems. The ministry and government as a whole is also still dealing with cleaning up the procurement process. Some people will be laid off going forward, whether they like it or not. That's where we are. But I think, like Dr. Barbara and Jerome put it as well, especially Dr. Barbara, that look, we cannot say that we wait until a certain month, and that's when now we have this influx of medication. We need to have the short-term plan. And I know that the ministry is not short of technocrats and able people to come up with a short-term plan. And I know also that there are donors that are frantically trying to help Zambia have medicines. But I think what we need from the ministry, again, is that robust communication with timelines, clear indications, and showing numbers, even able to just record that this health center has delivered these medicines and they have to last that community 6 months. Let the people know, because once the people know, even those disgruntled medical personnel, they won't do anything. It's been announced, it's been published. So I think that communication is important. Quickly on to the arrests. Linda, law enforcement cannot come for you or me if they don't suspect anything, if they don't have anything on you or me, or if trouble doesn't point to you or me. So some of these arrests obviously are leading to somewhere, or somebody mentioned someone. So you have this guy who's been quizzed by DEC. Why is this happening? We know you were in the mix. And they mentioned some big shot. Or I was just sent by Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, to go and do this. They're the ones that gave me the money. So you should ask them, what do you expect the law enforcers to do? They'll come for you, one. Two, people like allegedly Chufya Tayali and all the things that he's doing. This is in public domain.
Just you don't mention that name on this platform.
I'm sorry. Okay, him and some retired ambassador who go on and even post pictures of what's happening in Sri Lanka, and you're trying to incite people. The peace that Zambia enjoys and the protocols that we are signatories to under the United Nations and all those charters also entail, and then just all the security acts that we have in this country also entail that if you're going to incite people or use certain words or certain actions or behave in a certain manner, the law is going to visit you. They'll call you in because they know they have guiding rules that say, okay, that is pointing to a guy who is now inciting the people. They want violence. And I think that nobody should be scared. If you've not done anything wrong, if you've paid your taxes, you've earned your money genuinely, you've worked hard, you can show your contracts, people can follow through. There's a trail. There's no need to be scared. If you're going to stand on a podium and start using words that are telling people indirectly, stand up and fight, the law is going to visit you. If you're going to have properties that don't add up to your income, the law will still visit you. I mean, here I am. If tomorrow I woke up and all of you saw me with $5 billion, the first question should be, what is it that she's been doing to earn herself $5 billion? Unless I win the lottery. But if not, the law will visit me. How have you landed yourself with $5 billion? This is where you work. Your payslip shows you earn so much. You've got that little kantemba there. It brings so much. Where is the $5 billion coming from? So I think that for me, let's just support our law enforcers in the work that they're doing and just pray that they also do it correctly and they have all the strength and motivation and not to, fall away along the way, but just to, be there and ensure that if someone is innocent, they should come out and say this person is innocent. We didn't find anything on them. the investigation led that they were innocent, were not guilty. If they're guilty, yes, they're guilty. Let them go to court, or if there's a case they've been found wanting, take it to court so that the courts can determine whether they're guilty or not. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you very much. Now we have been joined by a new person, a person we have never interacted with. Chembe, would you be kind enough to add your video, please, and make your contributions if you are still there? And thank you for being so patient.
I can have my audio on. Unfortunately, I can't video right
That's
now.
okay. Yeah. All right. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you so much for adding me to the program. I've been listening in the background and I've really enjoyed it, especially the views expressed by Dr. Barbara. I think she was really spot on. Unfortunately, like most people have pointed out, UPND is the government rather is not so good at communicating. But for me, it's no surprise. I've been following them throughout their campaigns, and now as a government, and unfortunately, things have not really changed. The problem with them now is that time is ticking. In the past, it was easier because there was a clear villain who was PF. But as time goes by, now the narrative of PF being bad is slowly not sort of raising the same or sort of provoking different kind of emotions towards the PF narrative, as it unlike it used to do in the past when PF was in power. And you see this clearly when, like, for example, in this program, people are upset with some ambassadors and some person that cannot be named who's being associated with the PF. But as time goes by, people are no longer associating their pains to the PF. Now the narrative is slowly changing into, we voted you into power to fix things, and what are you doing about them? And unfortunately, when there's no communication, nature abhors a vacuum. The UPND is really sort of making a very fertile ground for conspiracy theories. And unfortunately, if a wrong figure becomes a figurehead, it will be really bad. It will be really bad. So that would be my contribution. I hope they listen to what Dr. Barbara said. I really appreciated that, and I hope someone on the UPND team is paying attention, because I think this is really unacceptable. Whether what's happening with the booth and their fight with corruption, because when you talk to insiders, they'll clearly say there's a lot of work happening. But like they say, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it is a duck. No matter what even if you say it's not, people are working. If it doesn't seem like hard work, then it's not. Unfortunately, there's a place where perception beats reality. Unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you very much. You must come again, Bachembe. What's your first name, out of interest?
Yeah, I wanted to make.
Bachembe, what's your first name? And then Jerome can come in.
Oh, Chembe is my name. I've been on.
Oh, you prefer just using?
So yeah, I've been on BAKWETU, but just use a different name. I'm Emmanuel.
Okay. Jerome, thank you very much. Jerome, you wanted to add to that?
I wanted.
Go for it. Is Jerome still here? I can hear him, but I actually can't see him. Jerome, are you still here? I think Jerome's having problems with his internet connection. Now, we have been talking for 1 hour, 53 minutes and 57 seconds, and that's way too much talking that we have done. I'm not even sure if we have exhausted everything. I just want to thank literally everyone. I'm sorry if you didn't get enough talk time, but this is just the nature of the conversation. Next time, come in a little bit early and you have more time to converse with us. Thank you very much, viewers. We still have about 800 and people. Everyone is still awake.
Linda, can I just say one thing before you close
please.
off?
Of course, Doc.
I just wanted to say something. You know, we've been talking about.
Go on.
We've been talking about the bad things that we need to work on as UPND. I'm a UPND supporter, and we are not scared of laughing at ourselves and shouting at ourselves. It's really important so that we develop and so that we do things better. Yeah. But there's also the other side of things, as they say, the good news crawls whilst the bad news is running a marathon.
Yeah.
The dollar to the kwacha is doing all sorts. Yeah. The pound to the kwacha has even removed me from being a dambo at my family level. Things are I'm no longer a child in Papa family because it's no longer possible because the kwacha has picked up. And then obviously you can't be a Bemba woman without name dropping and being related to somebody. You know, those young ballers, the girls. One of them is a Chanda even. It doesn't matter whether you think we are not related. She is related to me, you know, by the surname Chanda. She won a medal, best player on the day.
Oh yes, the football, the girl
who was, you know, they brought her down, the confidence in the camp. So there's also that to talk about. It was amazing for my daughters there. So we can't finish without mentioning them. So they're really in the sadness. They made us happy as well. So it's really good. I submit.
Thank you very much. Apologies. I mean, Polo. Boys, okay, let's just pause for a minute before we close. That's Polo. I sure hope you were watching because this is a Bemba because
you should have them on the show.
It's not about cheap, about Shiporo, it's about he, Poro.
Polo. But Joseph, do you have any contributions? Our girls are just
it's the fight that's been going on in many countries to bring women on board, and I think it's gone across the aisle of sports, art and everywhere. And I think I saw I think it's the 4 goals they scored in the last match to get them to the top of the group. Yeah, I think the team has been doing very well. I think it also borders on leadership. The current vice president that we've got, I think he's administratively put that team together, trickling down to the individual categories of male and female sports. And I think seeing the sheep polos, as they call the mighty women of Zambia on the flag, they've done us proud. And
you should be saluting to us. Women.
Yeah, as you can see behind me, I'm typical of that color behind me. So
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm allowed to. I don't know if I'm allowed to a little bit go backwards a little bit, but I had some little points that I don't know, maybe in the background or something. Maybe we can talk about them. Apart from
we can talk about them.
Okay. Yeah, but otherwise the ladies have done us
proud.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Those girls, they deserve a raise. Those girls, they deserve a raise. Good bonuses. Let them have good bonuses because they are actually representing our country. They are doing the best. And this goes to show that abuse abakashana, war, manyala. Now you see that women can do the best, better than you. Yes. So it is time for us to start rallying behind women and support with their dreams. It's not just football. women can make wonders even in the home management. I promise you, even in companies, anything that you want, you wish to. It's not the world. It's not a man's world anymore. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys, to disappoint you.
Is
I'm
this
going to
Mom
change.
Kelevai? Is this the point where I say Litumeze?
Ensha,
Is that a good place to say?
Ensha,
Litumeze. Thank you very
Ensha.
much. Viewers, if you could just add a comment and send your congratulatory messages to Ship Polo Polo. I'm working my scarf with the Zambian flag in honor of the girls. They have been fantastic. But Jacqueline, a quick sentiment, last sentiment on Ship Polo Polo.
Job well done. We're excited. And I think that it's time to really develop female football, girls football, and just ensure that I think more girls are inspired to take up the sport. And if we can, some of those players want to go back to school, others want to go to university, or maybe, finish one or two courses. I think it's time we started seeing scholarships for our sports girls and boys too, but more the girls now, since at least they've overshadowed the men. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So companies out there, corporates, companies, this would be a good time. I remember a long time ago, like ZCCM, they used to have incredible sort of programs for people who are very talented, be it in science or sport. I think this will be a good time for companies, corporate companies, businesses to pick up some sponsorship, sponsor our girls, encourage them. Viewers, we've got to end it here. We have exhausted everything. And thank you very much. This has been a very informal conversation, as you could tell. People could just be themselves and speak however they wanted and just express themselves. Thank you very much for joining us. You have been watching TVBAKWETU, a presentation of TVBAKWETU. From me, Jacqueline, Joseph, Dr. Barbara Mkelevai Chembe, our resident pharmacist who has retired because he has to be up very early. Thank you very much and good night. God bless you and God bless our country. Till next time, good night.